Coming up on Using Them, Chinese-operated store gutted by fire in the city. Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary Carl Singh responds to state-owned papers over his retirement, and rates increases not unreasonable, says government in response to MMA land protests. News in Depth with Iva Wharton begins now.
With tonight's edition of News in Depth, I'm Iva Wharton. Thanks for joining us. First up, a Chinese-operated store in the city was today gutted by fire.
Millions of dollars went up in flames after fire struck at a Chinese clothing store on Robb Street just around 10 this morning. The fire started in the top flat of the 4-storied building and quickly engulfed that area. Firemen were already on the scene before the fire got out of control, but there were some hiccups that caused the efforts of the firemen to be delayed. The firemen also had problems accessing water from the fire hydrants in the area. The building is reportedly owned by the Alfonsos and is being rented to Chinese nationals who operate a clothing store at the location. The proprietors of the store were reluctant to speak to this newscast about what transpired. However, Jap Rahman, who operates a butchery next door, said he was reliably informed that a welding job was being done inside the building when the generator that was allegedly supplying the power exploded.
I get to understand there was 3 men welding with a generator upstairs, and the generator blew, and the runner left the generator while it was catching a fire. And when the smoke started come through the ceiling, then everybody get to understand it's a fire. And that's when I get a call.
Residents in the area were on high alert and started removing their household items in fear of the fire spreading.
I hear people hollering. I thought it was fighting. When I look out, I see the fire, so I go out and tell them let them come on this side because they can control the fire through this side. Right? That was it. And
yeah, well, I appreciate the work we're doing because they come quick.
Persons from around the market and other areas had already converged on the scene, but the police quickly took control of the area, with Commander of A Division Clifton Hicken in charge. Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan was also on the scene, getting a first-hand look at the firefighters in action. He offered no comments to members of the media. Operation Manager of the Guyana Fire Service, Compton Sparman, was the first to admit that the firemen encountered some difficulties during the early stages of the fire.
Of course, the water system take about 50 minutes to build up, right? Because now is the time of the day, people using water, so you have to divert the water to the hydrant. So it can take some time, about 10 to 15 minutes.
We will return with more news on the other side of this break.
Hey, looky there. Let me go techie boots.
Boots? No, man, I ain't gonna get locked up teeth in them big stinky 30-second boots. Plus, it can be more cheaper online. And don't got my favorite color, pink. Let me go on.
Online shopping. Cheaper, faster, better. Passback.
Nothing compares to the class and beauty of Beeson Windows and Doors. Engineered by professionals and built to last longer than the competition. Buy 10 windows and get one 24x16 bathroom window absolutely free. No tricks, no gimmicks, and no hidden fees. Prices starting from $13.5 VAT inclusive. So visit our showroom today at Lot 1228 New Eccles Industrial Site or BPAT's building on Regent Street and save big on UPVC or aluminum windows. To order now, call 622-4197 or 226-1292. A man's beer.
Welcome back. Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary Carl Singh responds to the state-owned newspaper over the timing of his retirement and the hearing of a controversial case.
I will be demitting office on the 23rd of February this year. And not before. My constitutional tenure expires on the 23rd of February this year. And until that time, unless my appointment is revoked, I intend to exercise my functions as a judge and carry out the responsibilities and duties thrust upon me.
Government parts ways with embattled Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of the Presidency, Omar Sharif. Embattled Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of the Presidency, Omar Sharif, has been relieved of his duties. Today, in a release to the media, the Ministry of the Presidency announced that it had parted ways with Sharif since December 31st last year. According to the release, Acting Permanent Secretary Abina Moore has been confirmed in the position. Sharif was employed as Permanent Secretary at the then Office of the President under the former People's Progressive Party government. He continued for some time under the coalition government, but was suspended when he became the subject of an investigation by the Special Organized Crime Unit for possible tax evasion and money laundering. Rate increases are not unreasonable, says government, in response to MMA land protests.
The fees currently being charged cannot maintain the operations of the Maikoni Abari Agriculture Development Authority. That's according to Minister of Agriculture Noel Older. On Thursday, he was supported by Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman at the government's post-cabinet press briefing, who said these fees will lead to better stewardship.
At the same time, we accept that with the rising costs or expenses and fees, government's responsibility to maintain those lands and to ensure that they are properly drained, irrigated, etc. That responsibility is more acute and must be discharged. So these fees will lead to better stewardship by the MMA authority to ensure that farmers can farm and get their produce from farm to markets and can do so without severe or excessive losses from flooding and in other cases from extensive dry seasons.
But farmers are calling on the government to reverse the increases and mounting a picketing exercise to voice their concerns. But Trotman said the increases are not unreasonable.
So as I look at them, in one instance, one cost per month will now be $666, the dreaded 666. In another instance, it is going to cost for an acre of land $583. In another, $416. And again, $416. By no stretch of the imagination can we call these exorbitant.
That's a wrap for this edition of News in Depth. Do have an enjoyable weekend and see you here next week.